we are live. Thank you guys for joining us for episode 5 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, our PartyChat podcast review. Today we are joined again by a very special guest, Jacques Slade. He behind you.
What up?
For those,
some things to talk about.
We do. For those of us who have, well, not us, but those who maybe didn't see you in our first episode of this series, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let them know who you are, who you be.
My name is Jacques Slade. I make videos on the internets, mostly about sneakers and a little bit about technology. And I got some things to say today because I had a whole bunch of feels about what happened on the episode this past week.
Ooh.
So,
You ready?
Yeah.
Because we kind of talked about this on Twitter, Christine. Like initially, like when we first started talking about me coming on, we talked about a little bit about it, and it just so happens that happened this episode. Which is what we was talking about. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna talk about it.
Some things. But before we dive into the episode specifically, we're gonna open up with an icebreaker. Okay, up with a little funny icebreaker. So this question, I'm interested. To know. So this question is, what was the worst style choice you have ever made? I know right off the top of my head what mine is. Actually, I have a list.
I know what mine is, man.
I have a list.
Oh wow. I don't know if I'm that willing to open up.
Open up to us. Tell us your secrets.
Yeah, everybody like, I already got mine. Gosh.
That just means that you're more stylish if it's harder for you to figure it out.
I don't know. No, it's like I'm trying to like, how much do I really want to reveal? What it is. I'm gonna say I'll make a sneaker choice. The light up LA Gears. Then when you walked on them, they lit up on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Light up shoes.
You know that's cool for kids now. But I had some when I was.
I'll put my pair away.
A kid. I was older than a kid when I had some. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Oh, no. So I have a follow-up question. What size were you when you had those when you were a little bit bigger than a kid?
I'm going to say probably like a 9 or a 10.
I can't wear those.
Okay.
I can't wear those.
Okay. She say I can't wear those.
Right.
You trying to get a donation?
I was like, I'll DM you, bro. Like, hey, here's my P.O. box. Send them shoes my way. You don't want them? I like light up shoes. Well, I haven't had them as an adult.
Now I wouldn't mind, but back then, it was a style choice. Now I wouldn't care, but back then it was a style choice. So yeah.
I got you. Dwayne, what's yours?
All right, so I'm gonna make it a long story short. All right, high school. You know when you get, I got like a texturizer. I wanted to put like my hair grew out. I had like a little fro thing going on, so I was trying to get a little, little curls in it. I left the texturizer in too long, so so I asked my mom to like, yo, just let me know when it's ready because you're used to this. So she forgot. So yeah, she forgot that to tell me to get the stuff out my hair. So when she did it, I had a slick back. Like, like the 1950s. Ooh, shoo-doo. I had one of those. And so I had to go to school. And so I was trying to wear a hat the whole time. Yeah. And so when I took it off, it was bad. Everybody was like, he got us. They called me Slickback or a pimp. That's when Blue Notes was on. A pimp named Slickback. And they over here taking pictures. And I was just like, man, my head, bro, my thing was I had the slickest cut. Boy,
you should have entered room like sliding in and be like, like
I was like, it was and then people in the hall, all that. It was man. I know, bro. It was bad, bro. It was real bad.
That's funny.
They hit you with a pimp named Slickback. That is hilarious.
I know, right? And looking back on it, it's hilarious. But the days that I had to, because you gotta wait for it to grow out.
Right.
So I'm just like, I had to cut all the hair off, start over, and wait. So it was just every day. Hey, a pimp named Slickback. Like it was like. pebbles. And so it's just like,
cut it. Yeah.
Right. So that was my worst style choice ever.
That's funny. Jazz?
Oh, mine was now looking back at it. I didn't think that it was bad, but like now looking back at it, I see it as bad now. But like, okay, so Christine, you know those little handbags, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not like the little handbags that's not necessarily like a purse, but it's like it has like a little strap and like it's like a little purse thing, right?
Yeah.
So those are meant to be held in your hand. Okay. I did not wear it that way in like middle school. Like I wore it like underneath my underarm like a purse. So you would literally see just like the edge of the purse like all up in my underarm like this. My mom would tell me like to hold it in my hand, and I'm like, no. Like I was just like, no, let me wear it how I want to. And because she said it didn't look right, and I was like, no, it looks fine. And then now I look at pictures back then of just you just see just majority arm, and then just like a little piece of pink popping out like right here, and I'm just like, yo, this looks so wrong, yo. This is bad, man. Just like this is
hilarious.
Terrible. My mom was like, I told you it looked bad. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It does. It does.
That's where you realize, oh, like, you know what? I should have listened to you, Mommy. You were right. I should have listened to you. So mine, I used to go to church camp. Okay, I used to go to church camp. So there was this one time at church camp where the last day was pretty much like a throwaway day. You know, everybody's leaving. You know. And I loved church camp. Like, I loved summer church camp. It was week long. I was just all for it. But that last day, it was like a free-for-all for me, clothing-wise. So when I said I have a list of bad style choices, I have a list, and they're mostly from church camp, that last day of church camp, where it's like, these are the go-home clothes. These aren't the, I'm trying to be cute for church, or I'm trying to see my friends. These are, I'm going home, so I'm just wearing whatever. So... And I have a picture, but I'm not gonna grab
Don't expose yourself.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not gonna grab it. Plus, I'd have to search for it, but I know it's somewhere behind me or beside me. But like the whole outfit, just to kind of lay it out. All right. One of my friends gave me a bucket hat. It was like a white bucket hat.
Okay, that's fresh. All right. Okay, starting off okay.
I had like you know how you like a rain jacket? It's kind of like a hoodie. It's a pullover, but it's like a windbreaker. But it was all one piece. But it was like, I would say like a navy blue. So we've got like I said white, but I think it's more like a beige or khaki-ish bucket hat. And then this blue windbreaker that you pull over. Gray sweatpants, I believe, right? And these bright blue Powerpuff Girl socks that I had. Have.
You still got them.
I still have them. This was like from middle school. This is from middle school, and I still have them. I actually wore them like last month or whatever in my drawer. And they're bright blue Powerpuff Girl socks with like stars and hearts on them and some flip-flops. When I showed my husband this picture, he said, never show this to anyone ever again. He said, if anyone asks, I will deny that this was my wife. This person in this picture. Yeah, I was like, no, it's my history.
Funny.
It's my history. And he's like, yeah, let's not show this to anyone ever again.
Oh,
so
man.
that's one of many.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a sad day.
That's hilarious.
So,
when your husband like, nah, babe, look, like I love you, I do. Like, I love you. But there is a point when we have to talk about things.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Yes, it's a sad day, but it does. He did show his cousins to make fun of me, which I mean, okay.
Damn, what do you can print out copies like?
No, we were showing
like,
that. We were looking at photo albums. He's like, oh, you want to see one of her? Let me show you one of Christine right now. And then he pulled it out.
Dwayne does the same thing. He makes fun of my old pictures when I was younger. He make fun of me all the time, man.
They haters, Jazz. They hate.
Yes.
Haters be haters. So
I don't know if haters is the word.
Right, I'm a critiquer. Let me stop.
A what?
Connoisseur.
Controller.
Right.
A seeker of truth, I think, is really what.
That's what you would.
Is.
Okay.
I've been searching
for the truth.
Yeah, for a long, long time, Christy. All right, cool.
Hot mess. Really quick before we go, because we will be talking about a little bit of the Resident Evil showcase, just to recap information for those who are watching, and then E3 events, just the schedule, just talking about the schedule really quick, not too in-depth.
It's all online, right?
Yeah, it's all online.
All online, yeah.
Oh, okay. You scared me when you was like E3 events. I was like, wait a minute, did I miss something?
Oh, no. Like, there's the online schedule that they have for, like, the events with E3, and then outside of E3, there's a couple of indie events that are going to be happening. But I do want to let everybody know we will be having the PartyChat Oscars, okay? I did give them the sheet, and Jacques, if you'd like the sheet, the questionnaire as well, where what they're going to be doing is inputting their choice, not voting off of the nominees and all that other stuff, right? We will be inputting our choice of like best actor, best actress, things like that from movies that came out last year. And I think best movie is on there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jazz or Dwayne. I might need to fix it or add it because I don't remember if I added that. But we have input our own choices, and then by Wednesday I want to put it so that all of you guys as the viewers can vote on who you think should win. And then on the 25th, when we have our podcast episode, we will be dressing up. Dressing up and doing our own little Oscars before we review the finale of Captain Falcon. I was like, no, that's not the right one. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So viewers, stay tuned for that. And Jacques, like I said, if you want to input, let me know and I'll send you the sheet as well.
Yeah, send me the sheet. I have some choices. For sure.
And then everybody can vote. So it's our own Oscars. Because a lot of the times, the nominees and the people who win, none of us have seen these movies.
Right. We'd be like, what movie is this?
What theater did this come out in? Like some of this stuff.
Right. I'm like, I didn't know this movie.
I didn't see no trailer.
This an American movie? They got it in America.
Right?
Okay.
Oh, shit.
AMC showed this? AMC? Was it?
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
But
okay. And somebody paid to go see this movie, right? Okay. No, I just want to make sure.
Or did somebody pay them to go see it?
It could be. Free tickets. That's how they won. But yeah, for the Resident Evil showcase, for those of you guys that didn't see us react to it last Thursday, they had a Resident Evil Village demo. Jacques, do you play scary games? Do you play Resident Evil?
I do not. It's not one of the vibes. No.
That's a good thing. Unfortunately, it's also not my vibe, but sometimes I partake. Sometimes I partake. Unwillingly, but I do.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
So, Jazz, I need you to explain the demo thing because we talked about it a little bit before we started. But Resident Evil, they had a demo. They gave PlayStation Early Access. It said 8 hours. It said 60 minutes. Your girl got confused, so your girl didn't play the demo because she thought she had 60 minutes as of that day. But it turns out that might have ended yesterday. So go ahead and explain it for those who wanted to or don't know or want to. Go ahead. All the things.
Okay, so on the 17th, they had the Village map demo available for 8 hours. That means that you could play anytime within this 8 hours. And then once you play it, I believe that you had 30 minutes to get as far as you could in there. And then they're going to and then once those 8 hours are gone, that's it. And then now on the 24th, they're doing the same thing where it's available for 8 hours, but it's going to be the map of the castle. And same thing, you play anytime during that 8 hours until it's gone, but you only could play for like 30 minutes. And then on May 1st, that is when they're going to do both the village and the castle map together, but it's going to be available for 24 hours, like for the whole day. So you play that whole day and do both of the maps for like 30 minutes each. So it's like you have an hour. So that's when I'm going to be playing, when it's both of them, because I didn't want to do one part and then wait, then do another part and so on. So I was just like, I'm going to just do it all together. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Excuse me. So that makes more sense because when I saw 8 hours, I saw 60 minutes, and then I saw an asterisk that said 30 minutes, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying to me, website. I don't understand what is happening. So for the link to, if you go to residentevil.com/village, you can find more about the demo. I think right now, from what you were saying, Jazz, the early access is PlayStation for also the 24th. But in May, that's when all systems will have access to the demo. Okay.
And it's both maps the same day instead of just one.
Okay. All right. And then the game drops on May 7th, which is in a couple weeks. I'm not ready. Resident Evil 4 VR for Oculus Quest 2 will be coming out, but more details we will have on April 21st for the Oculus Games Showcase, which we'll be co-streaming here right on the PartyChat podcast channel. So definitely stay tuned for that on the 21st. We got a new trailer for the game, for The Village, where what was the infamous words? Ethan Winters. Ethan Winters. They just kept saying his name over and over again. So you guys know who you're playing.
Yeah.
Ethan Winters, okay? Just in case
you
you're
never see him. You never see his face.
That is true.
So.
He is the only one he didn't look in a mirror, did he?
I don't remember.
Think we've ever seen his face. I don't think I remember.
I think they like showed it in like a cinematic, but I don't know if they showed it in the game.
I don't think they ever did.
Oh, okay. So he could be anywhere. All right.
Yeah, he could be anyone.
They also mentioned Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, which is a new animated movie coming to Netflix this July, which I'll see it, of course, but just recap of the trailer. I jump scared during the trailer and hit my laptop off of my desk. And that was just the trailer. Only so much more will happen on that day in July. And then the last thing is Dead by Daylight is going to be collaborating with Resident Evil. And they're going to Dead by Daylight is having their 5th year anniversary stream on May 25th, which we will talk about doing something, co-streaming it. And they will announce more into their collaboration with Resident Evil. Now, somebody had told me when the guy had said, kill or be killed, I think there was a comment somebody left saying that was a Claire statement, a line from Claire. So they're wondering if the Easter egg is that Claire will be one of the survivors that you can play during the collaboration. So a couple things to think of. Yes. Jumping into E3. So there's some E3 related stuff and then E3 not related, but games related stuff for the summer, because we all know there's Summer Games Fest that's starting in June 21st with Jeff Keighley. He did it last year. It kicked off pretty well. He's going to be doing it again this year. And I know last year, I think he interviewed and talked to game developers alongside creators and integrated a lot of people into the content. So, let's hit him up on Twitter, see if he'll invite the PartyChat podcast. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll get there.
We'll see. Wholesome Direct, which is from Wholesome Games. They're doing an indie showcase. There's no date on it there on that, but they said it'll be in May. The only thing I don't know if Wholesome Games is a dev, because when I was trying to find out their website, it doesn't say that they're a dev, or if it's just a company that likes to promote games that seem wholesome to people. I don't know. But if you're interested, there you go. E3 is from June 12th to June 15th. They're having an Ubisoft Forward on June 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern. PC game shows and the future game show is going to be on June 13th. PAX Online is going to be July 15th through the 18th. And then the Game Dev Conference is July 19th to the 23rd. Oh, and Gamescom is August 24th. So that's kind of like the lineup for the summer into early fall in regards to gaming. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they may come out with. Is there anything that you guys hope to see since we can't physically be there at E3?
I have no expectations. None whatsoever.
Yeah. I would say nothing.
Yeah, same thing. Because I don't know.
A good game for the Xbox and PS5, but that's probably a different conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Keep your expectations low so you don't get disappointed. So I don't
WandaVision really set him up this year. WandaVision, after that, he's like, nothing, no expectations for nothing.
No, none, not at all.
Ever again. That's funny. I do hope that there will be some new game release, but like you said, that is a separate conversation because PlayStation, they have their own state of play. Xbox was doing their own conferences last year. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing. So I don't really know who's gonna be presenting outside of Ubisoft. Well, Ubisoft Forward is their own thing. I don't think that's related to.
Really? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, it's landing the first day of E3, but it doesn't say it's in collaboration with E3, so I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's a great opportunity for indie games like Among Us and like how like Fall Guys were. It's great. I think this event is good for those type of games. Games that really, that because like indie games been killing it, man. A lot of hype. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what's in store. But tweet us. Let us know what you guys are hoping to see or want to see from E3. Like we all said, I don't really know what they're gonna be able to show since everybody's kind of doing their own thing. Post-COVID or mid-COVID. Mid-COVID. Will this end? Mid-COVID. Will this end?
Middle of it. Three-quarter COVID. Three-quarter COVID.
Right.
We're in that three-quarter.
We're in that stretch. We're in the home stretch now.
Home stretch. We're in the end game now. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. So, today, ShangChi came out. The teaser trailer for the new movie, ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It says is only in theaters September 3rd.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like perplexing to me. I was like,
Y'all know it's a panini? A panorama?
Yeah. I think that they feel confident that by that time.
What, in what, 5 months?
Do they know something we don't know?
But I don't think so, because, once it starts getting hot, that's when people going to go out. And I'm pretty sure some people going to catch some.
I think numbers will spike again in the summer.
Yeah,
exactly. Well,
starting today, I think everyone that's an adult can get the vaccine. I know here in Cali, they're expecting to open back up completely on the 15th of June.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We'll see. So hopefully if things can happen in June where things open back up completely, September doesn't seem like too wild. But that just, if everybody is walking along the vaccine lines, starting today again. Well, not today. I think today is everybody in California was the 15th. We opened up for everybody that's an adult 16 and up.
And over here, they, I don't think Florida did close for like a little bit, and then
y'all be wilding, boy. Y'all be
wilding for spring break.
Bruh, when I had to go to the mall to get something, you would have swore that there's no COVID. Okay, the way that people are just like walking around. We did go to the beach. We stayed separated. When we traveled past people, we had our mask. But there were so many people just out there, just no mask in it. So hubby, when he see them, he'd just be like, mask off, singing that Future song.
Yeah.
He's singing it every time he would see them. And he's like, oh, they're passing. Let's put our mask back on as people were walking by. But we are trying to live life, but we are trying to be very, very safe at the same time. Unfortunately, in Florida, not everybody has that mindset. They're just like, I just want to live life.
Instead, we out here.
Being safe. I'm just going to do what I want to do.
It's my God-given right in Florida, boy. They'd be like, it's my God. God gave me these. God gave me these rights.
There was
God gave me all of these.
In West Palm, there was a town hall meeting where people were kind of complaining about having to wear masks. And one of the ladies, she did say, what's wrong with God's natural air system? That was her defense. What is wrong with God's natural air system? And I'm like,
his natural air system has death in it too. That's natural.
There's a lot of things floating in this air system, right? We don't have no filter. There's no filter on this air system.
What about what we put in there too to his natural air systems?
Right? When she said that, I was like, this is Florida.
Okay. I want you to take all the filters out of your house and your car.
Right.
Since you're so worried about God's natural air system.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Goodness. But so the trailer, did you guys all see it?
Yes.
What'd you guys think?
Awesome.
Oh yeah, I think it looks awesome.
Oh boy, man, they remind me of my childhood. When you used to watch some kung fu movies and their lips be moving before their mouth because the dub sucked. They'd be like, I will kill you. That's what it reminded me of. I'm like, oh.
I would say it was really good. It was super cool. Now, Simu Liu, he's the one that's playing, he's the main actor. He's in this show called Kim's Convenience on Netflix, which is like a Canadian show about this Korean family that owns this corner store. And that is just so funny. I freaking love that show. So when I saw he got a part in the Marvel Universe, I was like, yay, go you. But he's a beautiful man. In the show, you see him topless a couple times, and he's a beautiful man.
So on your hug calendar.
On my hug I gotta see his height. If he's tall enough, then yes.
Oh my Lord! What?
No, I am for my hug calendar. I am 4'11". Okay, so you have to be.
Shouldn't that be anybody?
Not like just anybody. Okay, Sylvester Stallone had to stand on apple crates. All right, so he ain't tall enough. If
5
you
foot and above should be your height.
No, I'm right at the Okay.
Exactly. That's
to
1
pick
inch
me
means
up.
a lot.
No, because this is the other thing. You got to be able to hug me and pick me up. Like if you can't pick me up and hug.
So
me,
just because he's short, he can't pick you up.
I mean, let's see how strong he is. Let's see how strong he is.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
Hold on. Wow.
I can settle this right here. I'm going to look up his height, okay? All
right. Oh, wow.
You
right
see?
Wow.
She's
right? Look up his height.
The mystery. You can't let go. Keep the mystery.
He's 6 foot. No, he's 6 foot. Same height as my husband. It's good. He's on the calendar. He's on the calendar. And he's the same age as me.
Girl.
All right, now put the computer away. Get them on the same age.
No,
She's gonna have a little hand on her chest. Right.
What's his sign?
What's his sign?
I'm not good at the sign thing, but if anybody knows, he's born April 19th. So I just know what I am. I don't know what other people are.
Today's his birthday. Did you know that?
Right. Today is his birthday. Today is his birthday.
Teaser.
Yes, they're releasing a teaser on his birthday. That is true. Me, I loved it. I enjoyed it. I think that it's going to have great action, that it's going to, the hand-to-hand combat. I do love watching stuff like that. I mean, sometimes I got to cover my eyes when it gets really, really crazy. But, I'm excited. Did you ever see Ip Man? Ip Man was...
Ip Man. Oh, Ip Man was
when he was. Oh, you should check it out. Is it still on Netflix?
You should check it out. I think it's still on Netflix.
Okay, for Donnie Yen, he played Ip Man. Ip Man it's a biographical film,
real person,
right? Of the guy who trained Bruce Lee. Yeah, he taught him Wing Chun. So it goes back to when, in the first one is when Japan, was over China, certain parts of China and everything. So there's a scene where they have to fight for a rice, and then they have to choose how many people they want to fight, and it was like to the death, right? Because them people's dead. Okay,
it was wild.
When he had to fight, he chose like 10 people, I believe, and he fought. And you hear, if you have the surround sound, you hear. Like, you hear like the and the hits and the bones crack. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy, and I kind of get that vibe. From this, I don't think it's gonna be as visceral because it's Disney.
It's Disney, yeah.
Pop a mouse,
right? Yeah. Pop a mouse ain't gonna let the blood be run too thick. Okay, I think the most blood we're gonna get is from the last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I'm excited. I'm so excited to see this movie. I'm happy for him. I think that the cast looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. My husband was also saying that his father might be the Mandarin.
In the iteration of it, his father's the Mandarin, because they said that, racism, he was a stereotype because of Enter the Last Dragon. You know how that was popularity was popping off. So his dad was kind of like a stereotype. And so they was like, we're going to erase that, and make him his dad now. Okay. Mandarin is his dad. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And do you guys know the story of the Legend of the Ten Rings or anything like that?
I don't know.
I'm not familiar with that.
Kind of. It was like each ring has its own power. So it's like one that could like take away all the light in the room, basically make, shadows. Each one has its ring. I don't remember all of them, but when I was like doing some research, because I was like, there's a part of me that wants to like not know what happens, and there's a part that like wants to know. So yeah.
Yeah, because he said he has the comics, but I was like, I don't want to read them now because the movie's about to come out. So I'll just wait till the movie, and then I'll read the books.
Read the comics afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know it's probably not going to be exactly the same. It's probably going to be a little different.
Yeah, for sure. And then the 10 rings aren't like, like actual rings now. They're like on his arm.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it looked, Jazz was saying, like, when we watched the trailer, like, it looked like it was from Wakanda.
Yeah, just
No,
the
no.
color. I know it's probably
The purple,
not.
the purple and
Yeah.
the black. Yeah,
I know it's probably not, but it just looked like it. It reminded me of it because it was purple and black, like, and it was radiating like energy. So that's why I thought of Wakanda. But I was like, they're probably not gonna mention Wakanda in here.
probably
So,
not.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
not.
But anything's possible because it is a Marvel movie. So I'm sure that there's gonna be Easter eggs. Mephisto's probably gonna be in it. You know,
Oh God.
There you go.
you're gonna see Mephisto. But yeah, that movie comes out on September 3rd. The in theaters part, I'm nervous because, yes, even if a lot of people take the vaccine, I'm not. September's too soon for me personally to go to the theaters and sit there with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're gonna risk the biscuit, but they should have an option of going to like, you know how HBO's doing their thing. They should do the same thing.
HBO is killing it. HBO is
Right.
freaking killing it. When is it? Next week or the week after is Mortal Kombat, or is it
Mortal
this
Kombat,
week?
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
next
next week
Sunday.
on the 20. Is it the 21st?
20.
Or the
25th, right?
21st
They moved
is
it back.
maybe it's Friday. Maybe it's Friday because I think I'm gonna see
Friday.
it on Monday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me see. I can look it up right now. But yeah, like HBO. I remember when Disney Plus was announced that it was coming out, right? And then a lot of channels were like, "Oh, is Disney Plus gonna beat Netflix? Is Disney Plus gonna be the next Netflix?" And I was like, I don't think so. But HBO Max though can compete. I think HBO Max.
HBO is
They've
they
been lately. I don't
they
know.
they've been they going hard right now, man.
They are. Oh, the 23rd. It's coming out the 23rd. So that's
23rd.
this Friday. That's this Friday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is crazy.
I'm ready.
I'm excited. That trailer looks crazy. That one's gonna be a fun one. That's gonna be a fun one to mention or talk about next week for sure. But yes, it's time to get into the episode. Okay.
Yes.
Well, not the spoilers yet. Not the spoilers. It was preemptive. You got a little too excited.
I'm sorry. My hand started switching.
We got to do the non-spoiler review.
The non-spoiler, yeah. So go ahead and give your rating. Like, how many Falcons out of 10 would you give this episode? And then, you know, like a phrase or something to sum up this episode, non-spoiler, and then we'll just dive into spoilers. So go ahead, Jacques, as our guest. You may go first. How many Falcons out of 10 would you give this episode?
I'm going to give it. I would say 7.5.
Okay.
7.5.
Okay.
And then one word to describe this episode. Obvious.
Oh.
Okay.
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 All right, Dwayne.
I give it an 8 out of 10, and one word would be bold. I think bold.
Bold. Interesting.
bold.
Interesting
Okay.
word
Bold.
choice.
Okay. Jazz.
I give it an 8 as well. And then one word. I'm gonna say whelmed. Like, you know how like there's overwhelmed and then underwhelmed? Like there's just whelmed. Like
Okay.
whelmed.
Whelmed.
Okay,
You're just
yeah.
whelmed.
Okay.
You're not overwhelmed or
I'm
underwhelmed.
gonna-
You're just
I'm
whelmed.
not either, but it's
I know.
I'm gonna
That's a
look
good
that
one.
up. Okay, definitely gonna look up. I know over and under, but when you're just whelmed, okay, that
Whelmed.
means engulf, submerge, or bury someone or something, flow or heap up abundantly. So what's the sense of
I don't know if
overwhelmed?
that's
If it's the same,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
what
pretty
the
much
hell? Then if
What is
whelmed is
that?
overwhelmed,
Okay.
then you're 2 times whelmed.
right. You're double whelmed. You're just single whelmed right now. You're not double whelmed. So you're just single whelmed. Okay. For me, I would say I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
I'm surprised
Oh,
that
wow.
I'm
wow.
Oh, wow.
higher than you guys, because normally
Mhm.
my number's like your number in
Lower.
half, yes. But I would give it a 9 out of 10, and my phrase would be ever present. I say that because I feel like if this had come out last year, if it had come out 10 years ago, if it had come out 5 years ago, that the message in this would be ever present with whatever's happening on the news. It's unfortunate, but I think that it's ever present.
Oh, I see.
And I'll go into particular names, when we dive in.
Let's go.
Oh, now that was our non-spoiler review, so we don't do long non-spoilers. We do, okay? Spoiler. You have been warned, okay? All right. So, where do you guys want to start? Where do you want to start?
In the beginning. The beginning has to be mentioned. The beginning was a great fight scene.
The beginning was crazy. I will say that even though I've been calling him Captain Lame, this episode, that sigh of like, so visual.
No, because it was like, that's so accurate.
Yeah.
Hold on, Jacques. Is Cap your Cap? Is that your Cap? No? Yes?
No.
Because I've been seeing a lot of people they like John Walker. Like, they think he's like one of the best characters in the show.
The whole show?
Oh,
like the whole show. Nothing but the show.
The whole show.
They mean this show.
I will say this. He is an amazing actor, okay?
Yeah.
Because he makes me not like him. And
very
for that,
so.
as a character, like, if you could make me not like you, like, that means you did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
He makes you not like him, but also understand him.
Yes.
Which
Precisely.
is
and like,
really...
I understand where he's coming from. So it's like,
I don't. I don't understand it.
You don't? What you don't understand? Let me.
I would say they were able to persuade me last week because I was on the I don't understand him. He makes no sense. But go ahead.
Am I explaining my side?
Yeah.
I want to rebuttal. Let's go.
I don't think there's been enough. There's nothing that has happened that justifies his behavior, regardless of what all the stuff that he's talked about, he's done. Mm-hmm. None of it justifies the way that he acts, in my opinion, or his perspective on things. For him to be a hero and to have won these awards, like I feel like I need more backstory to why he feels why he's so ego driven. Like I don't feel that backstory. Like I feel like it was just thrown upon us that he, like, especially from God, I forgot his name, his buddy Isaiah
Lamar,
Battlestar
Galactica,
Lamar, like the way Lamar looks at him and the way Lamar speaks about him, and then that scene with his parents, and then the way that his parents spoke about the pseudo Cap, like there's a disconnect between the way people look at him and who they thought he was and the way that he actually acts and the way his decision making is being done. So like for that, I'm just like, I don't get it. Like I need to know, there's a backstory that's missing, or an event that's missing to me that drives his ego and his decision making the way that it is now in this show. Like why does he feel like he seems to be trying to prove himself too much, and there's nothing that has happened or I've seen, and maybe I missed it, and maybe this is where you guys will correct me, that establishes that sort of behavior.
I kind of agree, because I feel like because they mentioned it in the show, like when they were talking with Lamar, even like when we saw him first come up and like he was about to take the Captain America debut or whatever, and they were talking about like their times back in the military when they were in, what was it, Chile, or like maybe like show like what he actually did,
what happened,
like back then, because they were also talking about a part was like, oh, we could have saved so many people if we had the serum. Like, okay, so like what happened that you couldn't save those people? Maybe they could have showed that, so like what he did in war and stuff, and then maybe people would understand his character more. Maybe
I think they still have room to do that with this next episode. They still might like do a little quick flashback of them or whatever, because it seemed like he's suffering from PTSD to me. And so like when you were saying was like, so he's so antsy, and first of all he's like, okay, he's Captain America, like he wants to live up to being like how huge Steve was. And so that whole episode 4, when he was like, you're just gonna leave your partner in there, alone, and he ends up doing that in that same episode. It's just like this is why he's so like antsy, because I guess he don't want anybody to die, because I guess soldiers his soldiers died, and you know he made the right decision to like I guess complete the mission instead of what Isaiah did. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah, you know, he went to go get his friends, you know, and forget whatever else they talking about. They're gonna let them die, and he just let them die. And he's like, that's why he was so mad. I am what you made me be. You know, I'm like what you guys told me to be. I am what you made me, and now you're gonna take away, like, you know, just like the whole time he was saying it doesn't matter how the mission gets done as long as it gets done. And that's exactly how probably what they have told him to be. So that's why I think people like feel towards him, because he's like you know, Steve was more like, I am his own person. He said, fuck the government. Right. You know, I want to do what's right. And he's more like doing what he perceives is right towards the government. He's been a prototypical soldier. You do as the government tells you to do. Now, the government might not always have the right thing to do, but he's like, in his head, I'm doing the mission. You told me to get these terrorists. Mm-hmm. They kill, on top of getting these terrorists, they kill Lamar. I'm going to take these terrorists out. They're blowing shit up. I'm doing what you guys told me to do. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure if they didn't catch that shit on camera, which kind of like, you know, brings it parallel today, there would have been a totally different conversation.
Oh, for sure. So I'm in all three sides, right? Where I do feel like the PTSD explains, and that they've done a lot of talking about what it was like for him when he was in the war and stuff like that. And that PTSD can explain how crazy he's getting, right? Mm-hmm. The part that I agree with Jazz and Jacques on is the aspect of how he was with the ego. Not in this episode, but the other episode when he's like, you know who I am? And the guy spit in his face. Like, I'm Captain mm-hmm. America, right? Like, mm-hmm. to have that ego. And when he was in episode 2 and he's like, you know who got you out of jail? This guy. Meet me by the car. Like, I freaking hate that part so much. And so the ego he had there, and even at the end of that episode when Sam tells him, like, bruh, we were branded as criminals. It's probably not in your best interest to work with us. And he's like, well, then stay out of my way. I mm-hmm. think that part makes no sense. I do agree, and this is something I had said before, they should use the vlogger rule. And the vlogger rule is show, don't tell. Instead, mm-hmm. in this show, all they've been doing is telling us. Like, they do the same thing with Claire, what's her name? Carly.
Morgenthau.
Yeah, I don't even care about her name. That girl, they did a lot of telling us about, how they all met in Madripoor, how the world was before, and they didn't show us anything. I will say that with Johnny Walker, they did a better job of, out of like the outside characters, because, you know, we cared about our mains, but we didn't really care about anybody else because none of them mm-hmm. had a great story. They did mm-hmm. enrich in his story heavily, you know, especially mm-hmm. in the last 2 episodes. And this past episode, I think he did a very good job of staying consistent with what we just saw in episode 4. But I do mm-hmm. agree that I feel like if the show had more time, like instead of 6 episodes, if it had more time, they would have done a better job of fleshing out these characters.
100%.
A lot more.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like they definitely, because like even like Carly's turn, which she like they hinted at a couple episodes, or last episode I believe it was, mm-hmm. like it's a stark turn. Like her turn is stark. It's no longer just for the betterment of these people. It's mm-hmm. it's turned into like mm-hmm. now she's turned into like the criminal mastermind. Like they've kind of framed her as the criminal mastermind already. Yeah. And mm-hmm. like the death of Don, what's her name? Donya.
Oh, Mama Donya, which I loathe that name, Mama Donya. What?
Yeah.
It's just I don't know if it's the way she said it or whatever. I don't like it. But
you just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel like it had enough substance, and like mm-hmm. they didn't. I don't know. They weren't able to. I guess they weren't able to establish that relationship with Mama Donya and everyone, all of those refugees.
Yeah.
Like I felt like we had sympathy for Carly in the first couple of episodes about what she was going through and how she was fighting for these other people. Mm-hmm. But the way that they've had her turn in like the last 2 episodes, it just feels really stark. And I had more sympathy for her than I had for Walker in the beginning, and even up until like the last couple of episodes. Like for Walker, it just feels like a shallow, like he's a bad guy for the sake of having a bad guy that's going to be Captain America. There's really there doesn't feel to be a lot of depth to him. And like when they try to establish depth, it's counter to what we're seeing him do with his actions. So you can't tie the two together. So there's a bit of, I guess, frustration on my part for that. Is like I just want to know why he's acting that way. And there's nothing that tells me why he's acting that way. And I guess part of it is, in my mind, when he sees the Winter Soldier and he sees the Falcon, I feel like there should be an air of reverence for them because of what they've done, and because how they've changed things. And he enters with a total disregard for who they are and their record and their role in bringing the world to wherever the world is now. There is no reverence for them. It's a complete disregard for who they are, and that, like that, there's a disconnect there. As a soldier, you would think that you would look at these guys that saved the world in a light that is like, oh, like these guys are awesome, they're fucking dope. They're not my boss. It's not my boss, but there's a reverence there for them for what they've done, and an appreciation for their work. And there's none of that. Like it's zero. Like from episode 1, there's been zero reverence for them from his perspective or from Lamar's perspective. Like there's just no, I don't know. There's nothing there, and that doesn't feel genuine to me. It feels like that part is missing. So I guess all of those things kind of add up, make me go like, huh, all right. Like I get it. He's pushing the storyline. It feels more like he's pushing the storyline along to get Mackie to Cap than it is anything else. It doesn't feel like he doesn't feel genuine as a person to me. And like,
I don't know, bro. I kind of feel like he's having imposter syndrome. You know, like okay, not like the government saying, oh yeah, you did all these great stuff, Medal of Honor. You know, I'm supposed to be the new Cap. And so when he sees like these guys, the first thing you do is like trying to like, you know, I think it's like an ego thing too, but it's also like, I think he feels inferior to them, especially like episode 4. He's like, you know, when Bucky was like telling him to like slow down, and he was like, I bet you feel all tough with that serum in you. And then when he fought the Dora Milaje, he got folded by them. They're not even super soldiers. And I'm supposed to be Captain America, and I'm getting every battle. He's got his ass beat. And I'm like, I'm trying to live up to this guy's legacy. This guy's huge, like, and they want me to be Cap. It's kind of like, how am I supposed to outdo this guy? So I think it's PTSD. Him, you know, probably. I wish they would have showed him like in the field, like y'all said, like in Afghanistan, a situation where he left his partner in there to do the mission, and his partner was like, trust them, and then he left them, and then he ended up dying, and then he had to do the mission by himself. I agree with you on that, but I think it's like an ego thing. Like he doesn't, you know, he look at all these people around you, and then now they want me to do this job, and I don't have no serum in me. Oh, I thought that was the thing. Nope, I got my ass folded by these other chicks with sticks. Like it's just like
with pointy sticks. That's what
pointy sticks. Like
so, like
nobody cares. Like
I will say that with him, right? Because I am more enjoying seeing his character in this episode and episode 4 and 5 versus the rest of this, you know, 1 through 3. I did not care a lick about this man at all because he reminded me of like what I've said in previously about a jock in high school, right? Where when everybody sees, he's like, he's the cool guy, I'm the cool guy, but then his friends in secret like, I swear he's got a kind heart, he really is kind. And that's what it when in that first episode you see him where he has the interaction with his wife, he has the interaction with Lamar, and then when he comes out on the stage, he's just all presenting, I'm the greatest, I am the great, do you know who I am? And I think that it would have been a better delivered story if they did either more episodes, or also, like we were saying, showing us him in the past, showing these moments, making us care about these moments versus just telling us, oh yeah, he did all these things, he got all these awards, and he's the guy, you know. That's kind of like how I felt like he was really pushed into this story. Him his ego getting crushed multiple times was very enjoyable for me. In episode 4, when Dora Milaje, when he touched her shoulder and she looks at it and like that's the freeze frame. Like this is when he knew that he messed up because they handed him his booty and then was gonna take the shield and then just gave it back to him. It's like, nah, we don't even need this. Ish, go ahead and take this little boo boo shield, okay? And I think it definitely it makes sense, like from what happened in episode 4 and what happened at the end of episode 4 to what happens in episode 5, that I can understand, that can make sense. But I do agree that the first 3 episodes, how boisterous he was, how like he was very gaudy personality wise. Like, I'm Captain America, we should be with you, we should work together. I want your he said buddy. No. What did he say? What did he call him? What do you call Sam? Wingman.
I like Cap's wingman.
Yeah, Cap's wingman. And I do agree that there was no reverence or respect given to Bucky and Sam for what they've done in all the past movies since Winter Soldier. Like, you have not that we know who you are, and that he just came in like, I own the place. That privilege. He came in very privileged throughout this series, got his booty handed to him, and then has to go running back to mommy and daddy because, now mommy and daddy's upset with what he's done.
Like, even the fight with the Dora Milaje, how's he say? Yeah, Dora Milaje. Even like the fight with Dora Milaje. Like, why would he think, like, what would possess him to think
audacity
that they were a joke? And like that's and like those are the things that I don't get. For him to be in the role that he was as a soldier, like, there's a level of respect you have for fighting and for forces and for other militaries and things like that. And everyone knows the Dora Milaje is no joke. So he doesn't know that. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me that he would know that if he's in the role of Captain America, and for him to take that on and be embarrassed by the fact that he lost to them. Like, again, I don't know. Like, maybe that's like, where does that come from? Like, where they haven't shown me anything that would make me go, oh, okay, he's not going to respect them.
I think that they made him more audacious in that moment for us to really not like him, because I don't think John Walker was written to be liked in any fashion.
No,
because even in this episode,
and that's fine. And that's fine. I don't have to like him. I don't have to like him, but it needs to make sense why I don't like him. Now it just feels like I don't like him because he's doing stupid things, but they're not portraying him as a stupid person. Like, he's not a stupid person. He's this decorated military guy that's making like these real stupid decisions. But everybody that talks about him doesn't talk about a guy that makes stupid decisions. They talk about a guy that's smart, that's thorough, that does his work, that cares about his fellow man. Even like when Lamar died, I was like, they want me to feel bad for him, but I'm not going to feel bad for him. Like, he walked into that. Like, why would I feel bad for him for walking into that? And him getting mad and killing the other guy, like, I don't know. I don't know. It just,
for me, I can understand what you're saying.
Too many dots that are not connecting.
For me, it did make for good TV. Like, because I mean, Lamar was one of my characters that I really liked, because as an actor, that when he was on screen, he was just very magnetizing. Whenever he delivered lines, when he spoke at that rusty coffee shop and he was giving him advice and information, and was giving like dope, deep lines. Like, he's like, do you think that the serum will change you? And he's like, no, I think power just makes you more of who you are.
Yeah.
He was dropping some real knowledge, and I love that character. So when he died, I was upset, because I really liked that character. I think I didn't like his death, I wasn't a fan of it. But I do feel like it was, they made him, like, approaching Dora Milaje, I think they made him audacious so that way he can get his butt handed to him, because it would be more enjoyable to see. Is why I think they did what they did there.
Yeah, and I get that. But like, even like that scene you're talking about when Lamar was talking to him, Lamar is supposed to be his closest friend, like his closest buddy in war. Like, and Lamar hinted at nothing that would say he's off his rocker and is going to make stupid decisions. Lamar spoke to him like with a reverence, like, super soldier serum, dude, if you could take it, man, blah, like, that's perfect, because you are who you are. It just makes you better than what you already are. Like,
but I took it as
that's not the character he's playing.
That one I did take as, you know, when somebody does something really bad and they're on the news and then they interview their neighbors or their family members and the family members are like, I'm so surprised. I never thought that he would ever do that. And that's what, from the first time that I saw this man, that's what I thought his wife and his friend were going to be. Those two people that when he does something wrong, they would be like, I'm so surprised. I never thought he would do that. That's not the person that I know, the John that I know.
It could be like the person you perceive to be, you know what I'm saying? You got, you know how you have your outer mask or whatever, and then the real you that's within. And it could be like, you know, amplified with the serum and the war. Because he said he never felt good about going to war.
Right. He didn't feel good about the things he did in war.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but Lamar, like, so I get, you know, maybe this is, but Lamar would have seen all of that stuff. Lamar would have seen him in power already with a gun in his hand or running a battalion. Like, Lamar has seen him in those positions, and Lamar spoke of him as if he was this like Colin Powell, like just honorable like man that would do no wrong, and the character he's playing is not the honorable man, even though Lamar has seen him in war. Lamar has been there when he shot his gun, when he's killed people, and all those things. I don't know. So I don't know, but I'll stop harping on him.
No, it's fine. This is good.
Point. Bringing up a good point. I'm thinking like, okay, so like we've seen John like not really in power. Like he's never had like control over none of the situations. You know what I'm saying? When he fought the super soldiers, they handed his ass because he's not a super soldier. He tried to, you know, take command of Bucky and, you know, Sam, but they're out of his control. So we never really saw him at a point of control in any of the situations that he's been in. He's been always on the losing end.
I think that with John, because we haven't seen him like in war, which will probably help us with like why he's like how he is.
Right.
But like I think that people are speaking so high of him, maybe like Lamar especially, because like when you're like in the army and everything, it's like it's not just you out there like on the field, like you're with like a team. So it's like he's working with the team and like he doesn't want to leave his teammates or his partners or soldiers by themselves to do whatever. So, and I think that when like Bucky, I think that like when he became Captain America, like he looked at Captain America like, oh, Captain America has his wingman next to him, which would be Sam. And then like his best friend, which is Bucky, you know, and with both of them turning him down, that already made him feel probably like inferior to being Cap already, because he already doesn't have the serum. Then he doesn't have the two people that are meant to be at his side. He can't fight as well as Cap and everything. So I feel like it's all of that stuff. Like, all of that inferiority was making his ego like go crazy inside. He probably already had this ego and was like, oh yeah, I'm the top man. I'm always helping my teammates and stuff. But now that he doesn't really have that team and all he really has is Battlestar, it's like his ego is just going like insane. So it's just like, he's just like, man, they're beating me and they're not even super soldiers and all this other stuff. And so it's like, he feels like he needs to get to that super soldier serum so that he could be on par with Steve, you know, in a way, at least by having at least a serum. If he can't have Sam and Bucky by his side, at least he can have the serum so that he could take out people, you know, with Battlestar. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, because remember the fight in the beginning? He was kicking their ass. I ain't gonna lie.
It seemed like he was trying to kill Sam there too.
Oh,
like, he was like,
yo.
And in a fight, he said we could have been good together. We could have been a good team.
He was off his rocker
fighting them
because when he runs in there,
legit wanted them.
Yeah, when he runs in there, he was off his rocker. He says like, he's like thinking the flashback, right? Then he stands up, cracks his neck, and he's like, "All right, back to work." And I was like, "This man is crazy!" Like he lost his mind. And
I think that's like the military. Like, you don't really have time to grieve.
Right.
Back to the mission. Back to what they want. It's just.
That's what I was telling my
bro.
husband, because when at the end of this this fight scene, which was a really dope fight scene, right? You see like Bucky coming at him. You see Sam coming at him. They break his arm. There was that weird moment where they all crashed into each other, and I was like, what was the goal here? I was like, were y'all trying to break his back? Were y'all trying to just all trying to do something, and everybody just crashed into each other? I wasn't really sure. But when Sam has the shield and he rubs like the shield, the rubbing the blood, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you don't want to get a washcloth or rinse it off. You want to just rub with your hand. hubby thought it was like when somebody does something very shameful and they're like, I just got to get the blood out. I just got to get the blood out. Like that emotional moment. And for Sam, I guess it was to show the difference between Sam and John, because John, he does that, like you said, the shake it off. I don't have time to grieve. I don't have time to do this. I got to get back to the mission. And whereas Sam, he has had these downtime moments in between these fights, when you think of like all the different movies and stuff like that, where he can take in his emotion and kind of process to some degree. It still doesn't make sense that he was like, hey, let me just put my hand on this blood and rub it.
Well, I think it's like he's like, the shield is tainted now. Steve's legacy is tainted.
That's what I thought it was. It was like,
yeah, he's like, imagine if he
is done now. Like
if I would have took the shield, this would have never happened.
Mm.
And so he's like wiping the blood off.
I know that's how Bucky felt. I like that line when John said, you don't want to do this. And Bucky's like, yeah, we do. Because he been waiting
for that.
He was waiting.
Bucky was waiting since I think like episode 1 to take it from him. He was just like, hey, Sam, we going to take that shield. And Sam was like, no, we got to chill out. We can't be breaking laws and stuff. And so now when he finally got the chance to actually take this from him, he's like, yeah, I do want to get it.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go.
But all right, so they have that exchange, and then they go to, like, we'll skip the Torres thing unless you guys really want to talk about Torres.
Nah, that's simple. They said nothing him to be the next Falcon.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
yeah, they left him
since episode 1.
Right. Mm-hmm. They left him the thing when he said, you can keep it. I was like, okay, yeah.
There you go, Falcon. That's the next Falcon.
Like, there you go.
Yeah.
I think everybody already knew. Like,
everybody knew. Yeah, they was like, they were setting him up. They were setting him up for the next Falcon, and he got the wings. He's probably gonna repair him and be the next Falcon.
Yeah,
next
for sure.
Movie, whatever.
For sure. So then, when he sees Isaiah, right? He goes to visit Isaiah, and I might not be in exact order, so we can, talk about anything that you think I'm missing. But when he talks to Isaiah, that conversation I thoroughly enjoyed, especially since I read his run of his story. They did change a lot of things, and when he was talking about his situation and his story versus what was actually in the comic book. But like, since I know what was in the comic book, I mean, you can still, off of his story, you can understand why he's in the mindset of, I don't want to do anything. And I feel like this conversation, especially with Dante Wright and Adam Toledo, and if we want to go back to last year, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, we're like thinking of all these names and all these people and how they were, what happened, right? And I think as a community, we have different sects of how to approach, right? You have the certain sect, which is like, hey, well, that's how it's always been. That's how it's going to be. I don't want to do anything. I'm going to stay on my own. I'm not going to get involved. Then you have the sect that's like, no, we need to do something. We need to fight. We need to, do something about it. And I think underneath each of those, there's different iterations, right? You have family members that fall into either of those categories of wanting to do something or not wanting to do anything out of that fear. And you had this conversation where you have the young buck like, hey, no, we should tell somebody. We should tell them your story. We should bring you out again. Let them know who you are. We should share your story. And him going through everything he went through, being like, nah, I want to stay dead. I don't want to come out again. And the big takeaway line for me was when he's like, I don't want that shield, and no self-respecting black man would take up that mantle of being Captain America. Because for us over on this side, when you see the stars and stripes, you don't really feel represented, as a black person in the community, especially I'll say specifically in Florida. Whenever there's one of those flags out in the yard, there's always normally also a Confederate flag. There's also normally like some type of iteration that it makes me feel uncomfortable as a black person in America, because a lot of the people who, and I'm not saying all, I'm not generalizing, but a lot of people that I have seen that wave the stars and stripes have also, been proudly been behind racist situations that affect me and people who look like me. What did you guys think about that scene? That moment.
Jacques looked like he got something to say.
Right? Jacques, go ahead. Bust them lips open. Go ahead.
No, I'll let y'all go. I just want to listen.
Go. No, say
Well,
it.
I'll
Say
go.
it.
I'll go.
Okay,
I'll go. I'll go. I'll go. I was like, when he said that, I was like, I was like, but that shit looked pretty though. Let me stop. No,
Oh my god.
no,
Oh, the shield?
I was, no, I was like, damn. I'm like, everything that has happened to him, I totally understand why he felt that way. If a nurse didn't feel pity on him, he would have been stuck, probably still there. And the fact that this whole life he hasn't been seen as a person, but like a thing, and he didn't volunteer to be this thing.
No, he was taken.
He was taken, and everything in his life was just bad. So of course he's not gonna have a standpoint from optimism, because his whole life, and then even when they erased his ass, like it's like erasing the past. Like I think we need to. I think I have a mentality, me personally, to forgive but not forget. We can forgive the past, but let's not forget it. And try to do better than the last generation, but I totally understand where he comes from, and and it's just bad all around, man. It's just bad. It's just like how I don't know what our ancestors were thinking. I have no idea, but it's just
when they left. Is that what you were trying to say? When they left Africa, is that what you're trying to say?
No, not when they left Africa. No, like what the hell? No, what the hell were they thinking when they was putting that serum in them and just it was just like, man, it's like you told them that he died. It's just like, bro, for what? Like, what is the purpose? Like, it was just bad, and that universe is just bad. It's just like all around. So I understand where he's coming from totally, but I would still get the shield to change that, because if we just can't let the things be the same. I'm on that spectrum where you just can't let the stuff be the same.
Right.
I agree.
For me, it was like it reminded me, that whole moment reminded me of like in the real world, like back when people would get drafted to go to war and stuff like that, and there were like Black people that were drafted to go to war, and it's like they do all these things to fight for America, right, and fight for America's freedom, but then when they come home, they're not greeted with those freedoms. Like the Black people did not get those. Black people were getting hosed down by police officers. They were getting arrested for nothing. They were getting disrespected, getting beaten, getting everything. They were a soldier for the country, and they don't get any of those benefits or any of that respect or anything like that. So I think that's why Isaiah was like, I did all of this, and they used me as basically a lab rat and everything just to erase my name and act like I'm dead and act like I didn't do anything. So, F the shield. I don't care about that. I think that's where he was coming from. He was just like, I don't care about that because they don't care about me. Like nobody cares about me. So that's how I felt that situation was.
And one thing that I do think that is important that it laid out was that he, in the show, what they said he did was he took the shield and everything to go save the troops, right? And when he came back, they put him in jail for 30 years, they said in the show, and tortured him, experimented on him. Then you fast forward to the present day, and you see John on camera killing somebody, right? And what did he do? They're like, we're just going to give you an other dishonorable discharge, other than dishonorable discharge. You don't get any retirement. You don't get any rank. Like no benefits, no rank. And like a slap on the wrist, right? Get out of my office. Whereas homie who did a valiant thing by saving other Americans, he was thrown in jail for 30 years. Jacques, please tell us what you are thinking.
I'll say that I agree with everything that you guys are saying. Absolutely 100%. The line, the only line I'll say I took issue with was the no self-respecting Black man. As much as I love that line and I understood where it came from, I just felt it felt like something that you would expect a Black person to say. But in the world today, I felt like it could have just been phrased a different way, or left the onus up to Sam to make the decision, instead of having an elder statesman that's gone through all of this stuff tell Sam, don't do it. kind of thing. Like that's the only thing that I guess I felt I took issue with. Well, I shouldn't say that's the only thing. I also felt like it kind of stereotyped Black people when it came to medicine and taking vaccines and stuff like that. But that's a whole different conversation and scaring people about being scaring Black people about taking medicine. But that's a whole different conversation.
Like the COVID one.
Right.
Be careful of Johnson & Johnson. That just came out.
Yeah, in the midst of this. But I just didn't want, and this is what Christine and I talked about. I was like, I didn't want them to portray him as the angry Black man. I wanted them to portray him as the educated Black man that that had been through all of those things and came through out of it a much wiser and more of a leader to lead Sam, as opposed to instead of telling Sam don't do it. I wanted him to I wanted him to be a leader for Sam. And I don't know the backstory of Isaiah. Like I've never read the comic when it comes to this. So my perception, my hope for this was that Isaiah would become more of a voice of reason for Sam, almost, and saying like, look, I've been through all of this shit. Like it's been terrible. They did terrible things to me. They experimented on me, and they did these things to me, and they disrespected me. But you have the opportunity to change that narrative. You are going to come from a place that's going to make things. You can make things better. You can show. You can bring to light the things that I never had the opportunity to bring to light. But instead, he was like, "I've been through all this shit. Fuck them white folks." Like, you know what I mean? And I guess I just did, in my heart, I didn't want him to be that person. I wanted him to be the person to be like, Sam, you know what? You have an opportunity here, and I understand why you wouldn't take it. I understand because I've been through it. I've taken the blows. They've cut me open. Like they've cut me open for it. I've bled for this. And I bled for this. The you know that saying, like, I crawled so you can walk. Like that's what I wanted. That's what I personally wanted Isaiah to represent in the story. Yeah. And so like that's where like I guess my disappointment comes in that storyline. I get why they took the storyline, but I think having him tell his backstory, and I think that was definitely important, that people realize like what he went through, what he sacrificed, and still how they treated him when they came back. I definitely thought that was important, and that was an important story to tell. And I understand him being angry in that first episode. I was like, I get it. Okay, he's angry. He has a right to be angry. He definitely has a right to be. But when Sam comes to you almost like a puppy dog looking for some help and some insight, I had hoped that his wisdom would have shown as opposed to his anger showing. And they showed his anger, which again is a creative choice, but I just wish they would have showed his wisdom. I think they could have shown his wisdom, but still taking his anger into account. But I felt like they just went with the anger angle, and that shaped the story, because that he could have had his wisdom and been angry about it, and that still would have left Sam with a lot to think about
and to process.
And to process, as opposed to taking a hard stop, like, no, don't do it.
I would say you brought up something very interesting. I think when it comes to those stories, a lot of the times when it, are we the forgiving, it's normally forgiving Black person or angry Black person. And I think your line brought a new pathway. Like, yes, I'm still angry. I don't forgive, but maybe you can find a new way. And I think that actually that's very, if they had done that, that would have been a whole different mindset. But I do believe that right now, a lot of it is, okay, we receive the racism, and are we angry or do we forgive? And people don't take what your line was, like what Dwayne said, like, don't forget type of thing. But also in this situation, Isaiah does not need to forgive not a single person for what he's been through, right? But take that anger and guide him. What you said makes so much sense. And I completely agree with that line. I think that would have been an amazing line to include, because I will say that even though I'm all for Isaiah Bradley being like, F them, and, I did love the line. I'm not going to lie. I did love the line. No self-respecting. When he said that, it hit home because of how I feel when I see the American flag and what that means for me. But I will say that it doesn't make sense to the training montage and him taking up the shield because of what Isaiah said. Since Isaiah said what he said, and then you're just like, hey, I'm gonna do it, I don't understand why. So if your line had happened, then it would have made more sense and it would have been a better bridge. Go ahead.
Yeah, because now it makes it feel like, and this goes into, you know, the black community of, oh, Sam's not a real black guy. Because no self-respecting black man would do it. But Sam's gonna do it anyway. So what kind of black man is Sam now?
I think that was the purpose of the training arc to me, because it's just like, okay, because like when they were having that conversation, when they were throwing the shield back and forth, and it was just him and Bucky, Bucky was basically saying like, you know, like he doesn't really know who he is because of like, you know, what Steve said to him. And then that's when Sam was like, it doesn't matter what Steve says, like you define who you are. So I think that applies to Isaiah too, like as in like, oh, like no self-respecting black man would take this shield. And then Sam is probably listening to him and like, okay, I see what you went through, but at the same time, me as a black man, I'm going to take the shield to then make a different meaning like of like what happened to you and trying to make things better. So no matter what you said, I still get to define what type of black man I am and what type of person I am, despite what you say. So I think that that's the reason of that after he had that conversation.
Oh, so it's exposing the mindset he had, like, you know, despite what Isaiah said, I'm going to. So I guess he did the
like
result of the line. Yeah,
almost.
like what Jacques was saying, making my own way with this. And that line, what you said hit hard about, you know, what type of black man are you to pick up the shield? And that goes into a conversation we had, you know, at the thing, you know, earlier in March about what it means and who decides what black is and all of that stuff. And that's a deeper conversation for another day that I would love to have. But I agree. I do agree. I think that line would have helped so much more to that bridge. But I see what you're saying, Jazz, in regards to that. He apparently
it was really interesting. I was waiting for that scene ever since like the first episode, and Christine talked about me being on this. Like that's a scene that I've been waiting for because I wanted to see how they were going to play it out. Because now, like, either it's like playing it this way. I feel like if his grandson comes into play, like now I would see why his grandson would be angry. If it comes from his grandson's perspective. But even his grandson, they didn't really play his grandson from like he's angry at people perspective. It was just it was more of respect. It was just more of respect and protecting his grandfather. But it would seem with his grandfather is that angry as that role in the family, like that means the kid is going to absorb some of that anger if there's a storyline down the line for the kid, for the grandchild. So I don't know. I guess I'm kind of thinking about all of those things and how it plays out with that kid, and then how it plays out with Sam and his role and his family with his nephews and how it looks to his nephews. And like, yeah, it was.
I wonder if it's going to be.
I was waiting for.
Like what you're saying, I wonder if it's going to be retroactive. Instead of Isaiah saying, hey, make your own way, I wonder from what you just said that he's going to see Sam make his own way and therefore be like, you know what, I learned something, that there is another way. There's not just forgive, there's not just be angry, there is another way. And maybe he might pour that into his grandson because we know his grandson's going to be something as well. So maybe that it'll be retroactive, not from Isaiah, but received to Isaiah. And from that, he pours into his grandson.
Yeah. So maybe next season, and this is why I think y'all were right earlier. Like this 6 episode thing just don't work. Like I need,
time to really I think 10
develop these characters. Yeah, because now we're gonna have to wait a year or something before we get
might get season 2.
Might because it says a mini series. Yeah.
But I do like want to thank Disney for even tackling like this, this whole conversation and stuff like that, because it really does open a door up to have people to have conversations about this and their family, not just us being like African Americans, but Americans, period, and other people of different countries and stuff like that. Because I mean, Captain America's always been political. It's always been different types of the political spectrum.
Yeah.
But it's just good that they didn't sugarcoat anything. So when I heard that line, I was in there like, ooh,
yeah, I was like, okay, Disney, okay.
I like very surprised that they even like went that deep. So, but yeah, I think I just want to praise them for that.
I will say I agree. I think that when other companies do tackle the conversation in a, like, I know if it went a different way, it could have been better, but I think that it was handled well. Because it could have been handled really, really badly. And I think that it was I think they did a good job. And I think that it should be recognized when those conversations are had. Not that we want to just have Black television just be about the Black struggle, right? Because there's more to us than a struggle.
Right. No, I'm getting kind of tired of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we normalize some of these conversations, I think it surpasses just media. It surpasses, oh, this is something I watched, and then, like you said, creates these conversations IRL in real life for people who are Black and not Black to understand what it's like to have this experience, and how basically the mindset of how things are in real life, right? With Dante Wright and Adam Toledo and George Floyd naming all these names, right? And the thing that's like on the surface of this whole season is how even though he's a superhero, that don't mean ish. That don't mean ish.
Yeah.
Don't change. And then they're like, oh, well, Sam doesn't have superpowers. Okay, well, this one had superpowers, and that still didn't mean ish. When you think about Isaiah, he had the super soldier serum, and that didn't mean ish to how they treated him.
Yeah, facts. I also, we're gonna talk about the cameo that they was talking about.
That you guys said was gonna be a real. Well, I know you said you had no expectations, but they were saying how it was supposed to be a big cameo. That was supposed to be a big thing, and this chick is almost a nobody. Okay.
Yeah.
Not to some people, because to some people, like, oh my God, the woman from Seinfeld, but like I never watched Seinfeld.
Oh, the actress I like. No, I like the actress.
The actress from Seinfeld. I never watched Seinfeld. I like. Woo!
She's also in Veep. You should watch Veep. Veep is funny.
Yeah, see, I didn't watch the comics, so I have no reference of who she is. I mean, I didn't read all the comics. I have no reference to who she is. And my thought is that she had something to do. Again, you guys tell me if I'm wrong here. I feel like you guys know more about this than I do. I thought she had something to do with the I forgot his name. The city that they went to, the guy that rules the city.
Power broker.
I was like, oh, she must have something to do with the power broker.
I thought the same thing too.
I wonder if they'll spin it, because in her she doesn't have a lot of comic book presence. I literally watched the video before I came in. We started this because I was like, who is this chick? And she was put in the comics as a possible love interest for Nick Fury back in the day. But when in some of the comics, it turns out that some of Nick Fury's comic stories, like some of the missions he went on, in the movies, they kind of gave that stuff to Captain America. Like him and those guys in his first movie, how they went and fought in the war, like World War II, right? Or one?
Two, I think two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those guys he was rolling with, that's apparently Nick Fury's story, the rolling with those guys and fighting in war type of thing. But she in the comic books was originally given to be a love interest for him. But then she also does have ties to Hydra as well. So there's a possibility that Hydra might be, because she's also known as Madam Hydra, as they're reminding me in the chat. But her name is Contessa Val.
Bruh, she had the longest name. I sat there and was
and
like,
added more.
What, 5 names?
Right?
She's like, Contessa Val, Vazine, Vaduz.
Yes, all the sounds,
right.
yes. But she is also named Madam Hydra, so she does have ties to Hydra, and she, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to rope her in. And I'm interested to see if they're going to pull on the whole Nick Fury love interest thing. Are we going to get Sam? Oh, we lost you. Are you still there? Jacques?
Oh, what happened?
Oh, your camera.
You don't see it. My camera is in the streets here. Hold on.
Ran out to the streets. But yeah, I do like that actress. So when I saw her, I was like happy, but then I was like, wait a minute, is she the I like her, but is she the cameo? And then
she obviously was a cameo. Plus I like how she just busted into their little conversation because they was having a little heart to heart.
Right.
And the wife just like, who are you? And she's like, don't worry about it. Anyway, oh wait, no, back. She gave me the card. Don't worry about it.
Right. Don't worry. Yeah.
The card
Yeah,
ain't
thank
nothing
you.
on
We
it.
see you now. We see you.
We see you. Yeah, we see you now.
I do have to say I have to go though because I have
Okay.
a call.
Oh, no
Okay.
problem. No problem.
Yeah.
Are you able to leave the thing open? Or no, you
Leave
have to
my-
use your computer to make the call, right? Just kidding.
Oh no, I'm going to another room. So like I could like leave.
Leave it
Like and
up.
just leave it here.
Okay, because then if not, it'll configure everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll
just
mess
put your,
up.
yeah,
Yeah.
just put your teddy bear right.
Yeah,
where
your teddy
we
bear
need
can
you.
sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, put your teddy
That's
bear right
funny.
where it be.
The teddy bear.
I
can
got to
sit-
get out of here at 4 too.
Okay.
Okay.
So I got to get out of here in 4 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Let's wrap this
Yeah,
up.
we'll
Let's
wrap it up. But yes, she doesn't really have a big storyline in the comic book. So when they were talking about this big cameo, I'm like, all right, they pulled the wool over our eyes because.
Yeah.
So I read today that they have that they had an end credit scene, and I didn't even watch it. I didn't even realize
Whoa,
it.
you didn't even know. Wow.
Okay,
I
so
didn't even know.
we'll
I've got so soured by the
10-minute
hour-long
credits.
Yes.
the 10-minute credits from
WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Yes.
bro.
I was like, I'm not gonna sit here
Yeah.
and watch this.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie,
I
I
get
do.
it.
If my husband
get
didn't
it.
already watch it and tell me there was a cutscene, I wouldn't have seen the cutscene. I wouldn't have known.
We always fast forward just to make sure because they love to sneak it in, and you never know when. Some episodes they don't. Some episodes they do.
Yeah,
That's true. They do.
I didn't know.
Do you want us
I
to
didn't
tell
know.
you
I
what
just
it
read
is,
about it
or
today,
do you
so
want?
I want to watch it.
Okay.
Don't
Okay.
So
We
we
won't
won't
say
say
it.
it.
We will
won't
just
say
talk
anything.
quickly about Zemo. They've taken them.
Yes.
Wakanda was gonna put them in the raft, so they setting up the Suicide Squad of Marvel. It's called the Thunderbolts. Supposed to be like a group of villains that defeat another villain. And then he pulled into favor, and then you would get that. We get that later.
The suit. I'm excited to see what a suit might look like.
Yeah, me too.
For the
Okay,
next.
so it is a suit. It is a suit for sure.
It is a
Well,
suit
I
for-
don't know.
I don't know. Well, we
I
don't
was-
know what it is.
Yeah,
We
I don't know.
what
I
it
was
is.
just anticipating maybe suit or
something.
wings. I imagine a suit
I thought
and
they were
wings.
fixing his wings. That's what I thought.
No, but he left them with Torres, so
He left it with Torres, so he has no wings.
he
He's
has
just-
no wings.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't say fixing, like getting him like new ones, like
New ones?
Yeah.
super Wakanda wings.
Yeah,
Which
well,
I
that-
wanna
'cause-
see.
Because in the comics, he got them from Black Panther. He got his wings, new cybernetic wings from Black Panther. So that would have been nice, RP Chadwick, if they would have, he would have
If
been
they
able
had
to
mentioned.
you
That's
know.
why I think particularly it's been Wakandans, not T'Challa, or not specifically naming, but saying the Wakandans.
Yeah.
One thing really quick, the training montage, all right? I mean, it's cool that they did it, but it was a little long, and he was doing so many flips at one point. I'm like, is he auditioning to be a Power Ranger? Because
Facts, yeah,
he was like this is he did like a backflip, a front flip, and then a side flip. I'm like, are you a Power Ranger now? What is?
They were
what is
just letting
happening?
him know,
Yeah.
like you don't forget that Sam is highly trained as well, because he was part of that pararescue, super secret pararescue team. So he's, he's pretty decorated as well. So I guess they don't want the audience to forget, like Sam. Even though we don't say it that often, Sam is a capable fighter as well.
Right. Well, they made sure we knew it because that scene was
flipping.
long.
Yeah, they made sure to know that they took
hey,
gymnastic class.
Just know he lit. Those barrel rolls.
Those
were in
flips?
real life too.
Those
without
flips.
the wings, he
I
can
was
barrel
like-
roll without the wings.
Right? I was like, he's okay, sir. All right, we get it. You can flip. All right.
Right. Okay, you took gym class as a kid. Okay,
Yes.
show off.
Yes.
You get it.
Right? Goodness. Not all
You
of
can
us
do a
could have get it.
handstand. Okay.
Right?
Right.
Brag much.
Right.
I was also gonna say that I did personally hubby didn't really care for it, but when he was like, what's your name? She's like, Sarah. She's like, hi, Sarah. Like, hi, did she call him Bucky? In my
hi,
mind,
Bucky. He said,
yes.
"Hey, I'm Bucky."
I
And
thought,
he
Hi,
was-
Bucky.
I thought that was hilarious.
I think he was
I
just
love
that
it.
would get under
flirt.
Sam's skin. Like
Right.
I knew that would get under Sam's skin. I
Yes.
was like, that's perfect.
Yes, I love it. But I
Mm-hmm.
am also hoping for like a secret relationship.
You know.
Because of course.
Oh, no.
I know it's not-
I'm hoping for a relationship. I would love to see it as a point of ribbing between those two, because it establishes character and a bond between those two.
Mhm.
Like I really I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was hoping would happen when Walker was like, "I got you two out of jail." Like, guess who got you out of jail? I was like, okay, all right, he's fun. He's a fun guy. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. But no, it wasn't. That.
No, he turned out to
it
be
wasn't that. He
the
was an
airy,
asshole.
the very unfun
Yeah,
guy.
it's I'm
The
an
murderess.
idiot. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Makes stupid decisions. Is what it was.
But yeah, I love the episode. I don't know what to expect for the finale. I'm hoping maybe Power Broker comes back. I know Sharon's supposed to come back because wait, hold on, the terrorists that we don't care about are in New York.
That up easily,
right? They're in New York.
Somehow they got to New York. Terrorists in New York. Because of course, why not New York?
Right, New York's the epicenter of all terrorism.
Backtrack, so Sharon, we knew Sharon gotten the first mission for Backtrack, so that was something between them. She's hired him for the first mission to steal that dude, whoever that dude was. And now she's doing something again. So I think she's not the power broker, I don't think.
No.
But she might be working for whoever it is.
Mm-hmm. I can give you that.
Interesting angle. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was like, I've been curious about her.
Yeah.
I got curious. Yeah, I got curious about her ever since she decided not to go. I think when they were all there and they were like, "Let's go," and she was like, yeah."
Yeah, we got a couple of issues now. Yeah, we got a couple of issues now.
Mm-hmm.
I would, but I got business.
Can't take my mansion with me, with all my artwork. I can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, something going on. She got something popping down there.
I'm interested to see what she has. We did have one super chat question that I do want to shoot to you guys really quick. Shout out to Rennie who asked the question. That is not popping up. Give me like 2 seconds. I have it right here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Her question is, in regards to John Walker, is he suffering from PTSD or did his ego get too big and get bruised because of the title and lack of power he had to fulfill it?
Both of them. I think both of them.
Both of them?
Definitely both of them.
Yeah, and see, this is the thing. I don't think he had a lack of power. I think he had all the power. He just didn't know how to use it.
Mm.
You know them people.
America.
Yeah.
Captain America. He had the power to do. I think that put him in like the most powerful position that he's ever been in, and he just totally misused it. He thought being Captain America was gonna make him Superman, but it just made you. But instead, it just brought out how bad of a person he really is, which again they didn't establish anywhere in the 6-episode series. And
one other little nitpick I want to ask: when he got out of the car, right, and he's about to go to his hearing, and all these people that are screaming and yelling at him. Did that felt out of place to me? What about you guys? Because I don't feel like if they saw that if they thought he was that he killed a terrorist, right? They thought he killed a terrorist that bombed a place. I don't think that they would have been so like, oh, we hate you, we don't like you, type of thing. It didn't.
No, but he's Captain America. Captain America has set a standard for what you can and cannot do.
Yep. Yeah.
And he broke that.
He killed a dude that was begging for his life.
He did say it's not me.
Yeah, those two things right there is like he was begging, bruh. You still folded him. You could have just arrested him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's blood everywhere too.
Yeah, that line. Yeah, and there's like blood on the shield. Everybody sees the blood on the shield.
Yeah.
That's just like
that was a great shot, but that was just like
I was like, what?
Woke up in the morning with my cup of coffee and I see Captain America with blood on his shield killing terrorists. I'll be like, oh man.
On the news.
Yeah. On the news. Yeah.
That was crazy. But yeah. Thank you so much, Jacques, for joining us for episode 5. The finale is next week. I will email you the form for the Oscars, the PartyChat Oscars.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be super fun.
I think it's really, really cool. I'm excited to do it. But yes, make sure you guys continue to watch the series with us. The finale is next week. We'll be doing our episode on Sunday, which is the 25th. And I have no idea what we're in store for, and I'm excited to see how it's gonna end.
Yep.
But Jacques, let the people know where to find you.
You can find me on the internets. I be in these internet streets. My username is Kusto, which is Kustoo. And that's all the places: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Grinder, Tinder, like all of those places. It's all under Kustel. So if you want to find me, that's where I am. Again, all I do is talk about sneakers. But this gives me a little break from that, and I get to talk about the nerdy stuff that I'm super into, but nobody really knows. So I appreciate Christine for bringing me on.
No problem. Glad you get to stretch out your nerd legs with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get it out there a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Dwayne, where can people find you?
You can find me YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Dwayne King with a Y, not an I. And yeah, that's me.
And Bear, where can we find Jazz? You can find Jazzy Guns.
Right?
_ Jazzy Guns on Twitter and Instagram, and Jazzy Guns on YouTube. And you can find me. Oh man, yes.
He look like he about to move. He about to creep me out.
If
man.
he starts talking, this is over. I'm gone. Right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be done. We're not talking after that. But yes, you can find me iChristine on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and also iChristine Games. Shout out to J-Dog for putting the link for Jacques' channel. Make sure you check him out. He does some really cool stuff over there, so to go check him out in his netherwoods, his realm. And yes, that's everything. We out. See you next week.